And we're back in Whitney, Texas, bringing you guys an update video for our Whitney build that we're doing here. This is a 2-story project. Last time I was out here on this build, we were talking about building for air tightness and showing you a little bit of some of the framework as we were beginning some of that. But since then, we've actually done quite a bit more work. We've got all of our framing completed. We've even had some of the trades coming in on the inside, even though there's a little bit left to do. And on the exterior, we've been able to get this thing dried in completely where we can continue on in the build process without having to be worrying about moisture and all those things. So what that means typically for us is, so now since the trades have been in, there's going to be some spots where we're going to be coming back in and having to do a little bit more flashing details and to fix some of the holes and stuff that they created. But when it comes to going through the exterior panels, most of that is pretty seamless at this point. So we're able to easily seal a lot of that. Of course, getting the windows in place, doors in place, all those types of things on the exterior is always key into your progress on a construction build. But we're going to kind of do a walkthrough today for the plans and show you in real life going through this house, this 2-story build. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get it going. So overall, we got about 700 square feet when it comes to a wraparound porch, which gives you a lot of versatility when it comes to entertainment and everything that you're trying to accomplish. A lot of windows looking out, but at this stage of the game, the focus is on us making sure that we're getting our electrical put in as we're doing all of this electrical rough in, and of course anything that needs to go in these soffits. That way next time we come out here, we're able to put in our soffits and finish up on all the downspouts and cover all this up with the trim. So as you can see, this is what it'll look like when we get our closed soffits right here. But here we do have some taller doors that will go in, and let's go inside and check it out. So this is sort of like the back porch, but the road accessibility is going to come in on this side because that's where you'll access for the garage. But you can see a little bit more of what we've got going on here when it comes to your overall framing. We've got the 16-inch truss system that we're using for the 2nd story, and we've got all our stairs built and all of the upstairs, which is a loft that's open into this main living area. Now, one of the things that we're able to accomplish here in the natural is having natural light, which is open all up above with these beautiful large picture frame style windows that we're using. We've also got a lot of windows down low. Now, when you have the higher doors here, we've got 8-foot doors. You always have the option to where if you wanted to, you could raise your windows up either to that height, or you could buy bigger windows, or you can keep them down at the 6'8" level. Here we actually have more doors on the house that are 6'8". So our client decided to leave these windows down. But you know, whether or not you would change that or not, that's really up to the client. In most cases, sometimes it looks a little bit better if you can keep all those windows higher, but at the same time, you don't really maybe want them to be too short. So looking into this space, you really get a feel for what type of opening we're going to have when it comes to looking out from over above. And what it's going to give us is the option for a little bit more reasonable ceiling height in the kitchen, which might make it a little bit more warmer. But one of the things I want you to take notice is that we are maintaining our 2x6 studded wall all the way around. Electrical has been going in, so they've got a lot of this already done. I wanted to show you guys how our steel is embedded into this. You can see we have these shots here that are approximately every 3 to 4 foot. And this is all really tight against this steel. So our steel, this is where our roof support is. And we've got another roof support over here in the corner, which is a full I-beam. And you kind of see how we do that. We've got this zip board. It's kind of like a California, I guess is what you call it, opening here, where this allows the insulation to embed here on this side. And then we have the zip that runs fully on the other side. That way we're getting our insulation inside that corner all the way up to each joint. So as you can imagine, if we started using, say, an exterior insulation, like some of the updates I've done recently for our rock wool option that we were talking about, of course, you could go to the zip R sheathing if somebody wanted to run continuous insulation on the exterior. That is where you would gain more insulation right up against your 2x right here. So you're not going to have any breaks. You have a full thermal capping it off on the exterior, so all your wood studs have insulation on the other side. I want to show you a little rundown, so let's kind of walk through this house. This is going to be a pantry. They do have a pocket door in here right now, framed right now, but this is going away. It's really too small, and the client wasn't wanting this anyways. It was something that ended up on the plans, but a nice big size pantry in here. So as you can see, this is going to be a good walk-in pantry, plenty of space in here. And this will be a great option without taking up too much space in the kitchen. So when you can incorporate a little walk-in like that, in the kitchen it's just going to look like a little door. But sometimes those corner pantries can take up quite a bit of space. So we do have a guest restroom here. There'll be a sink as well as a toilet. This is a downstairs bedroom. Pretty good sized room. All of our ceilings are 10 foot in here. And this is where, like I said, we came through here before. We got our 16-inch open web trusses here. Believe these are like probably on anywhere from 18 to 24-inch spacing. Some of them are a lot closer together. We've got a 2-sink vanity that's going in the bathroom. Another private toilet area that goes here. A walk-in closet over here. And over here I have a walk-in shower. So it'll step down. Actually, we'll be able to transition right there. Off of this bedroom, we've got a little corridor that leads to the shop, which we'll show you that here in just a minute. Well, this is the laundry room right in this space. Now, we had a little funny thing here. The plumbing ended up being outside of this wall, so the superintendent already knew about it, but that's something they got to get back over here, get taken care of. At this stage of the game, like I said, we're trying to see what kind of damage did we have done when the trades come in. How many holes did they create? And what are we going to have to do to get that fixed up before we're ready to come in and do insulation? Now, before we go upstairs, I'll show you the shop. This is our shop area. Great big open overhead doors, 2 of them. This is kind of a, I think this one's like 18 foot. This one's more like a 10 or 12 foot. I want to talk to you about this wall. You guys can see this is our zip wall. Now, when you see this finished, it's going to have sheetrock on it. But we do use this for a moisture and air barrier protection in the garage. And you say, well, why do you need to do that? It's overkill. You're spending all this money. Well, you don't know what's going to be going on in here. There could be gas fumes. There could be oil, other things like that. And so this becomes a continuous protection of barrier around. So you're not just protecting yourself from water and from moisture, maybe in this area, even though you're going to get some humidity that does come in here. But all of this will get spray foamed with a closed cell foam because we have all the steel in here. And we use that foam, and I'll talk to you a little bit about it on our roof lines on the inside, but the closed cell foam is more dense than the open cell. So that's what we'll use here to create a good thermal break. And you'll see a dramatic difference between your offset in temperature. So if it's going to be about 15 degrees, either cooler or hotter, whether it's summer or winter time. Now coming upstairs, we've got this temporary rail, but this will have a railing system that we'll use here for support. And this is a cute little loft here for looking out. This becomes more of a common area. So it's just kind of like I believe this place out here is going to be used kind of like a, what do you call it? A gathering place, a place that they could have kind of a retreat place is what this is going to be. And so there might be a variety of different ways that they're going to use it. But as you could imagine, you could set up a little reading area or something in this spot. And you're going to have a bathroom that's over there in this way, but I'll show you the bedrooms first. Plenty of windows looking out. Now I showed you downstairs, this is that same steel beam or steel post that goes all the way up. So you can see how our framing is and how we're able to essentially cover that once we get up to this point. So all of our steel framing is there. It's not only providing support for the roof, but it gives us stability on our walls, making this reinforced with steel. A lot of great support here when it comes to that whole header and everything that goes up above there. Now, a lot of windows looking out from here. Well, you're not gonna be able to see through that wall when we're done. But there's a little walk-in closet here. Most of these rooms are similar size. I've got another room that has a Jack and Jill bath right here that goes to the other room. So you can see this is where your vanities will go. You got another little walk-in shower that's going to go over here. This one will have a curb in it because we're on the second story. We got a little toilet area there. This is open to up here. And you can see we've got all the wood, but the break up here is where our steel stops. And so that little eave purlin right there is where all of this is tied together to our eave purlin, which completes our whole wall system all the way up. Now, the metal that we have here, this is where really you could debate options of what you could do. Because if I didn't want to go directly to my steel panel or my metal panel, and we'll come out here where you can see it a little bit better. So this room right here is similar to these other rooms. But this roof line here, as you see, you can see that those purlins, all of that's going to get hit with closed cell foam. We do that because of moisture, condensation, in efforts to try to make sure that there's not any conduction is the word of the day, right? So we will have a little bit of steel that drops down here. So this will have to be either a decorative or something, because we have a little bit more steel here hanging down on this beam, which we can either build a little header there out of sheetrock, or we could make that decorative and stand out a little bit more. So sometimes when you're building a Barndominium, that's the kind of stuff that you got to contend with. Depends on the sizing of your beams, the sizing of what you got here. For the most part, we're running this is a little bit smaller when it comes to the width. I don't believe we're 40 foot. I think it's a little bit less than that. But you can see the amount of steel we used going across there and the verticals on the big wall like that. So that's all welded steel going up and all the way over. Now, we like this because when I have that I-beam at the top, And I'm gonna have you turn around so you can see it behind me, if you can. We like this because when we have that I-beam at the top, you can see we can bring our studs all the way up to that I-beam. And that enables us to gain a closed system when it comes to the wood and the steel together. So we kind of use the bottom flange of that I-beam as a barrier. So, I mean, it's real easy to seal off. And once we come in there with the spray foam as well, it's a no-brainer. And that's one way that we're able to achieve better seals when it comes to those connection points, is keeping it like that. Now, if you go over top of the I-beam with your purlins, then you got to weave in and out of the purlin shape and all that. So that's what creates a little more flashing headaches, is what I'd call it. But we're going to have a really tight seal here on most all this, and it worked out well for this build. The last thing I would say up here is the only person who hasn't been in here yet is our HVAC guy. Now, we've got to get air conditioning throughout this whole house. So some of the passageways that we've got to use to do that is going to be interesting. But we've got all of this space, which is above those living areas on the second floor. All of that's free game, so we'll be able to run our ducts through there. I believe I have a chase over here that we'll be able to use for our AC man. So we got kind of this dead zone. We left this, or we made this for him to be able to come down. So this will be our main passage coming up and down to the lower level when it comes to air conditioning. We'll get everything that we need, our return and our supply going through there. So I haven't been here on site with the HVAC guy myself, and we'll have to check with the superintendent to see all the details yet that are to be revealed about it. But you know, we've got to get the HVAC done, get that in here, and then we'll be ready for spray foam, and then sheetrock, and then cabinets, and then painting, and then all the millwork, all that stuff too. I mean, the millwork will be done when the cabinets and stuff are happening. But we got a little bit yet ways to go on this build, but it's going to be interesting and fun. But nevertheless, we wanted to get you guys here because this is something that it just becomes more and more difficult. We've been really busy trying to get some of our newer projects started, as well as wrap up some of our existing projects. But this is the Whitney Barndominium that we're building right now. 2-story, 2,400 square foot of living, and 1,000 square foot shop, 700 square foot of, 2,400 square foot of living, 1,000 square foot of shop, and a 700 square foot of wraparound porch. It's going to give them a lot of versatility. It's kind of got a little bit of everything. We don't have a lot of attic space. We do have some interstitial space, so if we can get our ducting and all that stuff through there, we'll be fine. But and plus we'll have these access points from up here to be able to get and to dump air into these bigger zones or these bigger areas. Perhaps even from back here, we'll be pushing a lot of air from up here and creating that whole circulation deal. But this is going to be awesome. This is a great view looking out from up here too, basically over top of the trees, which is pretty cool. So a lot to be desired about this setup. It's going to be really, really nice. I hope you guys will subscribe to the channel and take opportunity to follow us along for more updates. If you haven't already done that, please do it now. Also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. I am Josh Helm, wishing you all the best. Thanks for watching. Texas Best.